Side note, I was gonna jump into this to go down to the Acti, which is what we're making the video on today, but the battery's dead because it's so cold outside. So walking it is to the Acti. We'll catch you up in a few, and I'll explain about today's video. Doing this one hand, that's why you saw the camera doing this. It's gonna be controversial, but I hope people like it, and I hope people understand and see where I'm coming from. But let me walk to it first. It's cold outside. I think it's like 29 degrees. The sun is going down, and it says it feels like it's 15 degrees outside. I just took a really hot shower so I could get out here and weather it. You're gonna see me with some gloves on, some like mechanics gloves. That's my trick, to still have full motion on my fingers and be able to do what I need to do. So let's get to the truck and tell you everything about the controversial video. We're almost there. Lola's super excited. She keeps pulling. Yes, are you excited about this video, Lola? So if you watched any of my videos in the past, this is Lola. I've spoken about her, but I've never really shown her. But this is Lola. Shout out to Lola. If you've ever met her in person, you'll know she's the best dog you'll ever have. But here's what we're talking about today. It's Project Acti. But not just Project Acti. Just Honda Acties in general. We'll let Lola do her thing real quick, and then we'll get to it. Come on, Lola. The viewers want to see and know what the heck I'm talking about. Hurry up. Come on. It's cold too. You're not cold? She's gonna go. Come on, get in there. Go. Up, go. Go. Come on. Come on. So, first of all, you can see what's going on here. Lola, all her life, pretty much rode on the passenger side here, so she thinks she belongs here, but she can't compute that that's the steering wheel, and that's where we're supposed to sit. So, usually she's on top of me when I drive this thing. Anyway, I want you to understand, look. Single click, this thing comes on. It's been sitting for about, I don't know how long, but quite a bit. Lola, back up, back up, back up. Oh, struggle is real. Hold on, Lola, calm down. Okay. I gotta squeeze in here. Okay, so what's gonna be controversial about this video is that I divulge my opinion about this, and shout out to Rob. That's for you, Rob. But so let's start this off real quick. I'm gonna try and not make this a super long video because I know my videos are super long. Some people love that, some people hate that. When I started Mendy Imports, it was just with one truck, and I bought it stateside and I paid too much, and I said, let me get something in Japan just to see how easy it is. And it was pretty simple, and so that's why I still do what I do. But I basically said, let me buy one to pay for the other ones that I don't use. I should probably turn the heat on. Sorry. And so here we are now, and I import cars for a living, and yeah, it's cold in here. And so I started with a K truck. It was a two-wheel drive, 4-speed, no AC carry, and I paid too much for it, and I should have just gone to Japan and paid what I paid for that one and gotten so much better truck. So I told my wife, let me buy 2 cars in Japan to pay for this truck. And I did that. They sold very quickly, and it just was snowball effect. Now here I am, 8 cars currently at the port, and like 38 cars or 40 cars deep in Japan that are waiting to be shipped. So what I say all this and why I sidetracked all this is because when I make these videos, it's for 2 purposes. One is to give my honest review and opinion about it, which then in turn turns into a sell. And then 2 is like all this information that I've retained over the, over time. I feel like people love to hear about it, and so that's why I do it. So I say things in videos that are kind of controversial, and they're my opinion, but I also like to bring light to certain things that, other people might not like to. As I said in the past, I don't try to be a shady importer and hide anything. These vehicles are over 25 years old, so you never really know what you get in with them. Sometimes they can be good stuff, sometimes they can be bad stuff. Also, hopefully this truck isn't super loud. That wire swing exhaust, it kind of can be loud. So when you watch these, just remember that it's my opinion, nobody else's. And if I'm selling a car, some people would say, why would you point that out? Well, I'd rather point out the things or the flaws or the things that you see, and you can see them in my video, or you can see them in my ad before you come here and you decide, I don't really want this thing, why did I waste my time? So you don't waste your time and I don't waste my time. So if you love it, great, awesome. If you don't, whatever. On a side note, if you watched this far already into my video, my previous video would have been about the Honda Z. Awesome car. I hope that everybody understands that that was a really, really cool car, and I still think it's a really cool car, and I think it's got a lot of potential, and it will get there. Rob is doing some awesome things with those cars, but also, if you didn't watch it to the end, if you basically have to guess a number between 7,000 and 10,000, and the two closest numbers to the randomly generated numbers will win a free slot on the giveaway, actually to win this truck, or to win 5 other vehicles that are available as part of the giveaway. So let's start it off. Why do I think Honda Acties are trash? I think Honda Acties are trash because they're overhyped. I think they're really cool trucks, but really they're overhyped because of this. They are, or I should say, there are so much better trucks out there that are not Honda Acties that I think are more capable, but Honda Acties get all the love because of the H, because everybody loves Honda. And they think, oh my gosh, I'm going to get a Honda because it's so reliable. Well, let me be the first to tell you, no 25-year-old car is reliable. At some point, they'll break down, something will happen. So when somebody says that, I think it's immature or childish because it's not the reality of life. Like, these cars, no car, I think every car, let's be honest, and maybe I'll hurt myself and I'll hurt myself, but that's okay. This is just the reality of it. I feel like every car is a money pit, and so that's the reality. When you buy an import, I think you should have in the back of your mind that you're not buying it for reliability or whatever else other bullcrap people try and sell to you. You're buying it because you want something different, you want something cool, you want something that helps you stand out, but you also appreciate the quirkiness and cool things about this. So me saying I think the Honda Acty is trash, not everybody will agree. I still love it. I still think it has a soft spot in my heart after owning this one, but I think it's overhyped. I think that Honda Acties are cool, but I don't think they're the best skate truck in my opinion. So for starters, one big one is just a K truck thing in general. They're meant to be work vehicles, and that's what they were used for in Japan. And people get them with, I don't know what imagination they think they get them with. But the first thing that's trash about K trucks in general, about Honda Acties, is that they're 2-seaters. So currently in it, Lola is 60 pounds. She's a Great Dane Pipple Lab mix. She's a bigger dog, not super big, but I think if you had anything bigger, you would struggle to have it in here. Now, if you have a Shih Tzu, a Yorkie, tiny little ones, I think they'd be great. You could get a little, basket for them that they can sit in there. So, 2-seaters. That's a major flaw in my opinion. If you have more than one child, even if you're married, you can only fit 2 people inside of a K-truck, which is a major flaw. I think for that reason, K-vans are so much cooler and so much better. They sit 4 people. They give you the ability to do so much more than you normally would if you only had 2 seats on a K-truck. Let's see. Second thing is, I think they're underpowered. I think that you can get some cool trucks that have more power than a Honda Acty. Like the twin cam 12 valve, what's it called? Hi-Jets. I think they have a lot more power. I think they're really cool trucks and they offer a lot more power than this. You even have turbo trucks or supercharged trucks. We're getting into the turbo carries now because the 99, that's when they started to put turbo on there. Actually, Suzuki made a very rare one, which shout out to Nick, he has one coming. So it's on the way. It's actually here now. We just have to go pick it up. But they, what's it called? They have turbos, so they make them a little faster, a little peppier. Ultimately, they're all governed to 660 cc's or 64 horsepower, but there's more that you can do that makes them a little faster. Now, in this particular case, this one doesn't have AC, as you can tell, but I think it goes a lot faster. Now, I want to start driving to get before the sun goes down, so let me go clear this off. I don't have an ice scraper, but sitting in there for a couple minutes with the defrost on, it usually takes the ice away. So that'll work. All right, my next segment as to why I think Honda Acties are trash is I think they're just kind of whatever. I mean, when you look at a Honda Acty, it does look pretty cool, but it's just a Honda Acty still. There's nothing crazy about it. Can you do crazier things to make it look good? Yeah. Do stock forms Acties look good? No, I think they just look very simple and very basic and very just basic, period. Now, on the other hand, you have a Suzuki. Sure, this is a different era, much newer and whatever, but you have a bull bar on that one. You have a roof rack on this one. It's on a lift. Can you lift that one? Yes, sure. This one overall is just different. Cool. Many different things. Look at that exhaust tip. Not that this one doesn't have an exhaust. This has a wire swing exhaust. I think that's cool. But they're also one of the smaller K trucks too. Now, all the new 99 models, in my opinion, are pretty small, like to sit inside. But I'm 6 feet tall, and why that matters to someone that's 5'3" or 5'4" or 5'6", it doesn't. But somebody that's 6 feet tall like me, it's kind of a pain in the butt. Watch out, Lola. It's a pain in the butt because you don't have a ton of room. Now, in this particular model, this one doesn't have the crank wheel, so you can rest your leg there easily. If you had the crank wheel, let me tell you, that's a pain in the butt. But you run into issues like this. This is just not spacious, you know. It's just kind of like whatever. But let's drive to the next location so you can kind of get an idea of what it is. I'm going to put you on my POV, I guess you could say, my phone mount. We're going to drive the Honda, and then you're going to see it's just kind of like a little underpowered. I feel like it could have more guts than what it does. Also, the fact that it's sitting on 15-inch wheels definitely does not help the cause. It actually like reduces the fact that you can be a little zippier and go faster. But that's a different story. You can get smaller wheels for that aspect. So I'll just kind of give you a walk around of this Acti. I actually think this Acti is really cool. What makes this Acti kind of rare is the fact that it's got fog lights and it's a town model. So it actually comes with the chocolate interior. Lola's looking at me all weird, but it comes with this, you know, different interior. This is a little sun faded, I think, on all of them. We didn't have a chance to paint this, but leads me to the next point. Unless you have a higher model Acti trim, I think with that in general, with anyone that you own, they all come with the trashy same interior. So all these people that buy the non-town, which I'm not hating on you, because that's the easiest one to find, they tend to get the one that just has the vinyl interior, which I think is trash. I don't think there's anything to write home about because it's just vinyl. But then on top of that, besides it being vinyl here and being this kind of ugly blue color, it only has a speedometer. It doesn't come with a tachometer, which is kind of annoying. And to add a tachometer is kind of a pain in the butt. You have to splice in another harness and everything. And so that's kind of annoying. That's kind of boring. It's like, why have one that you can't have a tachometer? Sure, can you buy an aftermarket tachometer? Yes, you can. Another point I want to add that kind of makes this, I guess you could say trashy or not, it's got like a mid-engine setup is what it has. So what does that mean? In particularly for the Honda Acties, that means that servicing them can kind of be a pain in the butt. Meaning your timing belt is right over here. So if you can see that in there, that's your timing belt cover. And to service it, it kind of becomes a pain in the butt. It's not that it's hard, but it's not easy, just time consuming. It's really annoying. I've never personally done one, but I've seen other people do it. And Josh from 8404 Imports tells me it is kind of a pain in the butt. You kind of have to know what you're doing. I think if you're mechanically inclined, you can do it. But the placement of the engine's annoying. It's like, why did you place it here? On all the other models, sure, they're kind of like mid-engine front engines where you have the cover here, but then most of the time they also allow the seats to come up and you can service them, or the seats most of the time come out. So then you can actually service them and it makes it a little easier. You can actually get under there. Your motor's not like right in front of the wheel and you can get access to it. On the sandbars are pretty cool because they're 4-cylinder K trucks. This one's just a 3-cylinder. And this one in particular, where the engine is kind of the placement. Also on the sandbars, they're in the rear. They're mounted in the rear. There's a whole cover that you pop down and it allows you to be able to work on the engine. That really makes it easy to work on the engine because then you could just literally, you open the cover and you can get to your spark plugs and your valve cover and all that. Another annoying thing about the Honda Acties is most people are like, where do I fill my oil? Where is it? You know, there's like this little dipstick right there. So most people think it's that, but it's actually this. That's where you fill your oil. I guess that's an easy place to put it. And people are like, oh, why are you complaining about that? Because I think it's dumb. Like, what if I had the truck on the street and I live somewhere where people like to dump sugar down, you know, the gas tanks? It's cool because the gas tank over here probably has a locking cap, which this one does, but my oil cap doesn't have a locking cap. Why is that? Like, what did you do there, Honda? So what usually happens is someone can get to it. They can put water in there. They can put sugar. It's things that you don't really think about until you see it, you know? Another thing. So this one does happen to be the 4-wheel drive model. So it means it's 4-wheel drive. But in my opinion, that's a flaw. I believe it's the Suzuki's. What else? The mini cabs. There's a bunch. I don't remember off the top of my head. I kind of got thrown off the train of thought when someone called me. But these are all-time 4-wheel drive, meaning they're always on 4-wheel drive. So when you're turning this and you go to full lock, it bounces back and forth and you feel it. Now, some people are like, oh, that's really cool. Yeah, it's really cool. Don't get me wrong. But what if you just want to be on 2-wheel drive? Now, granted, if you had the early 90s models of these, there was a place here where back in the day, you could turn a bolt, a 10 mil bolt, and you could turn off the front. So then it was 2-wheel drive and they actually became a little faster. I think being all-wheel drive, it kind of hinders the speed of them a little bit more, but maybe not. Maybe that's a controversy topic too. But tell me if I'm wrong. Are the 4-wheel drives just as fast as the 2-wheel drive ones? I don't know. On the note of 4-wheel drive, these don't have an independent axle on the rear or the front. These are CV axles, meaning the transmission is actually back here. And the axles hook up right to the trans axle. And then it has a drive shaft that goes from the rear all the way to the front to another set of CV axles. Now, if I'm not mistaken, for the most part, all of them share solid, well, some of them share solid axles in the rears. All the ones but the ones that have rear engine or mid-rear engine. So the Sandbar has the same setup as this, where it's just connected to the trans axle, and so does the Acti. All the other ones share, or not share, but have a straight axle in the rear. Why a straight axle? I think it's cool having a pumpkin in the back. I think for off-road purposes, it's so much better. Again, it has the ability to turn on the 4-wheel drive and turn it on, turn it off. Another thing about these, you can't remove the beds off the Acties like on all the other trucks. Well, I think the Sandbar's is the same boat. But normally they have bolts here so you can remove them. But on the Acties they don't. It's all one piece and it's all part of the frame. So when you get something like a dump truck, you can't just remove the bed to add a dump feature on this. You actually have to remove the sides, and then you have to add a bed and all the stuff on top of it so that you can be able to have a dump truck. Now, some might say, well, that's not so bad. Well, you're right. It's not so bad. It's not terrible. But what happens when you have to access the engine cover and do a work on the engine? Well, then you got to remove the bed, or actually probably put the bed on dump mode and still only have access from there. Now, if you had a dump truck with all the other trucks besides the Sandbar, if you put it in dump mode, you could see the frame coming through here, and the engine is probably like right here, and you can service the engine. So is that terrible? I don't know. I guess it depends who you're talking to. I'm trying to really point out all the flaws that I think most people don't point out the flaws for. As I was saying earlier before I started driving, I think the community could be part of the issue sometimes. I think it also could be part of the solution. In this particular case, Honda Acties, there is a huge community, so you can ask a ton of questions. Parts availability are there, so these are pros, but parts availability are there. There's a big cult following, so anyone and their mother probably knows about a Honda Acty, and they probably like a Honda Acty or have parts for Honda Acties if you're into K cars or K trucks in general. So that's pretty cool. I don't mind that, but then sometimes, you know, you could have people that do things negatively with it that kind of affect a truck, you know. So some people are kind of rowdy with it in your area. They might think you're the Honda Acty and you're the one that is doing all that because it has Honda. That's not really kind of a valid point, but I'm trying to nitpick everything because that's what this video is really about. Now, don't get me wrong, I own this thing. This was an investment for me. Would I daily drive this? I have the option to daily drive it. I choose not to because I'm just way too big. And in fact, the new Acties, I have another one of those coming. They're actually smaller, and you sit like up back. Your back is like fully straight. Unlike these, yeah, your back's kind of fully straight, but I feel like this hump arch thing, it kind of gives this a little bit of a pitch. On the newer Acties, they're just like flat, literally flat. You tend to find these a lot more in clapped out, rustier conditions because they're so mainstream. So often they come with a lot of rust. This one didn't come with a lot of rust. It came with a lot of surface rust. So you could see the different color than the original color that's here, because we wired wheeled it and then we put a POR, and then on top of the POR we put the white paint. But it did have a little bit of rust. It wasn't rot, it was just rust. I mean, overall, what can I tell you? What are the negative things can I tell you? You can't go very fast with these, unfortunately. I've had other K trucks where, like on my two-wheel drive carry, I went super fast. I went over 140 with that one. But with this one, the speedometer gives you, I guess, to 140. Well, no, that's 130. That's the max that it can give you. I don't think it can go past 130, but maybe I'm wrong. I mean, Whistling Diesel, I know he put a rocket ship or engine on the back of his and he was able to go fast. I thought it was cool. Interior wise, I think there's just kind of blah. Oh, here's one thing I forgot to mention. Interior wise, interior's cool, don't get me wrong. I like the bonsai shelf that you can kind of get inside of it. I think that's pretty cool. Again, I'm wearing these gloves because it's cold outside and it's a way to retain heat. But one thing that I really hate about the Honda Acties is the fact that you can't put a double din. I believe on the newer ones, they made it so you could put a double din, if I'm not mistaken. No, I actually think they still didn't. You would think that by now Honda learned, by the year 99 they learned, but I guess not. But yeah, it's single din, so you're stuck with a single din. Can you order one of those touchscreen single dins that does Apple CarPlay? Sure. But you're very limited to what you can put, as opposed to all the other trucks they offer that you could put a double din radio in there, so it allows you to really be able to put some cool stuff like an A-Toto. What else can I say about this? I think these headrests in the back are kind of pointless. I kind of understand why they're there, but they're more annoying. You see where my back sits because I'm so tall? I guess you got to be a shorter person for that. Overall, I think the Honda Acties are trash for that reason. Do they have a soft spot in my heart? Yes. Sorry if I repeated myself or if I repeat myself in my videos. I'm still new to this whole YouTube thing and like filming, and so my videos might not be as good as other people's videos. What I will tell you is, if you watch this far into the video, this was definitely like a way to get you to click on the video and look at it. If it worked, great. If it didn't, great. But this is still part of the giveaway. This is different than most of the other trucks. It's got a wireless wind exhaust. It's very clean for what it is. There's hardly any rust or rot anywhere. I made a whole video about this, so if you want to go watch the video, you can. It's got these, what I call dunks, that are pretty big, but they don't look bad. They actually make the truck kind of look cool. I feel like they do slow it down, but I guess it's really whoever ends up getting this truck, whether they like those, whether they want to remove them, whether they want to keep them. What I really like about this truck is that it does have the fog lights. That wasn't very common, like I said. The roof rack, I think, is another hindrance on speed. I think I can make do without it, but I think it adds a really cool touch and look to it. It's just different. Now, I did, hit on some points, but there's cool features on this truck that we added to it. We added LED lights everywhere. The only ones that don't have LEDs are the fog lights. I didn't feel like they needed them, but it's got LEDs there. It's got this LED light bar. It's like this work light in the back, and then it has LEDs down there, and I believe the reverse are also LED lights. I mean, here's the thing. If you want a Me Too car, like Rob likes to call it, and other people like to call it, I think a Honda Acty is perfect for you. If you want one with a cult following that's going to have a lot of parts, a lot of availability, a lot that you can do with it to make it look different, but still same, this is a good truck. Now, if you want something different, you want an independent axle, you want the engine in the front, like mid-area, then you get something else. But don't get me wrong, if I didn't have that wireless wind exhaust, you could barely hear that this thing's on. That's actually pretty cool that it's back there, but for servicing purposes, where it's at, I just don't like it. But if you're somebody that doesn't mind all these things, you like the look of the Honda Acty, you like K-trucks in general, and you want to dabble in a K-truck, this is probably the K-truck for you. Not this one in particular, but a Honda Acty, because there is a big cult following behind it. I will repeat this again, and again, but there's a lot of information out there that kind of gets shared and passed along. And chances are, if you live in a big city or kind of a big area where they have K trucks, someone's gonna have, it's vibrating because of all these lights that are on. Watch, if I turn all these lights, see, it goes back to idly normal. But yeah, if you have an area where there's a lot of people that own these, you'll always have somebody to help you with it. This one in particular didn't come with a clock. I wish there was just standard things. Also, this glove box is tiny. It's another flaw. But anyways, if you watched this far in the video, shout out to you. Thank you for doing this. My goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so 2024. If you're not a follower, if you could just help me get to the 1,000 followings, just hit that like button, share it, or hit the bell notification, hit follow. It really helps. I want to try and bring more videos. Wow, that's loud. More videos to you that offer you my opinion, if it's worth anything for you, because it's worth some for some, but not for others. And I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be cool to keep this journey going on. Shout out to Nick. Nick's a big example and a reason as to why I got into YouTube to begin with. So I think it's really cool that we're here, we're doing this. I think the community's growing. I think it doesn't matter what car you get ultimately. I think I just do it more to say, like, I wouldn't drive one. I think they're cool, they're awesome. They're four-wheel drive, so they have a lot of potential, but it really comes down to this. The community is a really cool place where we can kind of all share our creative thoughts and come together and make this what it really is. This spot right here, maybe in the future when it gets warmer, I would actually love to do a meet here to show everybody, show off each other's cars. We're in Connecticut, so maybe get people from New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut to come and meet at this park. I think it'd be cool to just fill this up with all K cars and do this kind of like on you know, yearly basis where you come and meet up with this, and then you can meet somebody like Nick and myself if you want to meet in person and all that. So if you think that's a cool idea, let me know. If you want to keep growing this community, just get out there, get yourself a car, get yourself a K truck, get yourself a K van, K car, a regular car. It doesn't matter. I think it's just a community of imports. One thing that I dislike that a lot of states are trying to do, and a lot of them have not been able to do, is they're trying to ban us. So what I say with this is we all need to collectively come together to stop the ban from happening. When it happens in your area, you need to just do your part to not allow it to happen. We could just do our part. It happened in Massachusetts. We all put our voices together and they reversed the ban. I think in New York, that's what needs to happen as well. So if there's somebody in New York that wants to go and try and do that, I think somebody should. Just because there's a lot of New Yorkers that are always hitting me up, oh, how do I do this? How do I do that? And I think I'm going to put a video on if you can register a K car or a K vehicle in New York. I think it'd be very useful. I think I have some helpful hints, tips, and tricks and insight onto that. But for now, this video is already long enough. It's probably already controversial. At the end, I still love this truck. I still think it's cool. I think that it's got a lot to offer. I think it's a K vehicle in America, which makes it different than everything else here. I think we should have gotten the classic K here in America, because there's a lot of idiots driving these big trucks that should not be driving big trucks. They could be driving stuff like this because they're the only ones on the road. But overall, should you get a Honda Acty? I think that's up to you. I think it really comes down to you. These are all my opinions. These are all the things that I see with all the cars that I've imported, but some people might feel different. So if you liked it, like, subscribe, share. Big milestone. I hit 1,000 followers on Instagram, which was huge. That's what I was trying to do. For me, the big thing this year was hitting 1,000 followers on Instagram and importing over 50 cars. We surpassed importing 50 cars. I've lost track of how many. I'll try and reconcile and do the count as to how many I've imported this year. And then we just hit 1,000 followers not too long ago. Let's see if we can hit 1,000 subscribers, and let's just keep going with this. If you like what you see here, leave a comment, say something. And again, don't forget to enter the giveaway for this truck and 5 other vehicles that you can choose from, or 3,500 and 4 other prizes. I would love to get this filled up. As of doing this video, I think we had a couple more chime in. I think there's 85 slots left, so let's keep it going. I think once we get to like the 75 50 range, I think it'll start to pick up quickly because people will want to see this thing end and they might buy an extra ticket or so. If you bought more than one ticket, shout out to you. Keep going. If you buy some more, I know somebody that bought 5 tickets, which was awesome. I know some people that have bought 4 tickets, so shout out to you. So for now, I'm gonna go drive this thing. I'm gonna take these gloves off because I look weird. Lola, do you have anything to say? Yeah, me too. Anyways, till next time.